Hello everyone, it's Yosh, your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One and Only, here with another exciting live stream. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about next week's brand new DC Digital First comics. 7 new comics are going to be coming out that are brand new on DC Digital First, and I'm going to be going over each one's title, release date, description, and my hopes for the video. Not the hopes for the video, hopes for the comic. Like the things that I hope will be in the comic. I also will include a recommendation. So I'll say like who I think certain comics will appeal to. But without further ado, if you guys are interested in checking out any of these comics I'm talking about, I'm going to have the links in the description box below to where you'll be able to go to those links and buy them. And not only will you be able to buy the comics using those links, but it'll also help out the channel. Some of the proceeds from buying the books on Amazon will come back to us. Also, I apologize if I'm all over the place. I feel like this has been a lackluster intro. I don't have a lot of energy right now. It took me a while to actually start up this video. I've just been feeling tired today. But let me see if I can get through these 7 comics. Hopefully, some of that intro made sense. I do feel a little off. But anyways, the title of the first book we're going to be talking about is Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Issue 3. It's going to be coming out tomorrow, May 4th, 2020. And here's the description for the book. The Toy Man is loose in Metropolis, and he has his sights set on one man, Lex Luthor. Can Superman get to the bottom of Toy Man's assault on Lex? Or will the villain's terrifying toys take down LexCorp and Metropolis with it? So that's the description for Superman Man of Tomorrow issue 3. Here are my hopes. Here's what I want to see in this issue. So I really want to see a strategic, action-packed, superpowered battle between Lex Luthor, Superman, and Toyman. I want to see Lex Luthor in like a fully decked out mech suit. I want Toyman commanding like a full army of like giant robot toys. And I want to see Superman thrown into the middle of it because I feel like that could be pretty interesting. And who would I recommend this book to based off of its description? I imagine fans of Superman, fans of mystery stories because they hint at the idea of Superman trying to get to the bottom of why Toyman and Lex Luthor are fighting. So I imagine there's going to be a mystery. Battle stories, I hope, because I hope it does showcase a lot of the fight between Lex Luthor and Toyman, and I hope that Superman gets involved. Anyone who is a fan of a Lex Luthor story and anyone who's a fan of a Toyman story, I feel like these are the target audiences for this particular book. Next up, we're going to be talking about Batman Gotham Knights issue 3. So Batman Gotham Knights issue 3 is going to be coming out May 5th, 2020. So that's this coming Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. Batman is hot on the trail of a series of murders in Brazil, where government officials and various captains of industry have been mysteriously murdered by their own bodyguards. None of the assailants knew each other, but the bodyguards' murder stories went viral. As the Dark Knight starts assembling the pieces of the puzzle, he notices the things all these victims have in common are a connection to the logging industry, a penchant for bribes, and a woman named Poison Ivy. So my hopes for this issue, and a lot of my hopes for comics are normally about the same, but I want to see a strategic superpowered battle in Brazil, specifically like in a rainforest. I think this would be really cool, between Batman and Poison Ivy. I want to see Poison Ivy take full advantage of the variety of exotic plant life that already exists in a rainforest, and I want to see Batman be pushed to his absolute limits against her. But so I feel like Poison Ivy's powers um, don't work as well when she's like in that Gotham City setting. Like normally when she's surrounded by buildings and cars and traffic and stuff like that, she doesn't have access to a ton of plants. And a lot of the really cool Poison Ivy Batman fights I've seen normally involve Poison Ivy being in a garden or being in a greenhouse, someplace where she has a lot of wildlife to mess with. But for the most part, um, she's surrounded by like normal plants, and then she kind of transforms them into more monstrous plants, and you end up seeing a lot of the same stuff all the time. Like you see a lot of like giant man-eating Venus fly traps and like stuff like that. I want to see Poison Ivy fight with giant exotic plant monsters, like plants that you don't immediately think of when you think of like, oh, this could be like a dangerous thing. Um, I think it'll be visually interesting. I feel like Batman may not have like a pre-planned contingency for how to fight against a monsterized version of like a rare flower. I just think there's a lot of cool stuff that they could do with this, and I want to see that cool stuff get done. I imagine that this book would be fine for fans of Batman, fans of Poison Ivy, fans of like international stories, like Batman stories that don't take place in Gotham but take place in some other part of the world, and people who are fans of mysteries, because again, it seems like Batman is trying to solve a case. But I hope that this battle is just as good, if not better, than the battle that was in Batman Gotham Knights issue number 2, because I actually really like that fight. Let's see. So next up, we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman Agent of Peace issue 3. That's going to be coming out May 6th, 2020. So this coming Wednesday. The description. Wonder Woman thinks she saved the day when she stops an asteroid from crashing into the Earth, but a fragment of it lands near the shores of Gorilla City, unleashing an alien horror upon unsuspecting simians. Now, the amazing Amazon must stop the creature before the entire gorilla race is destroyed. So, my hopes for this book, I want to see Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd isn't mentioned in the description, but they brought up Gorilla City, so I'm like, I imagine Gorilla Grodd is going to be in it. But technically, Gorilla Grodd doesn't have to be in it. It's possible for them to not put him in it. So we'll see. But I want to see Gorilla Grodd and Wonder Woman team up and fight aliens. I want the aliens to have a variety of cool designs and incredible powers. I want to see Gorilla Grodd and Wonder Woman combine their skills in unique and interesting ways, because Gorilla Grodd not only is strong, but he also has like psychic abilities. And then Wonder Woman has like flight and super strength and things like that. But I think it would be interesting to see them try and combine their powers in ways that we've never seen before. Like I could see Wonder Woman like throwing a shield at an enemy, and then Gorilla Grodd using telekinesis to like bring the shield back to her, or to then make the shield hit the enemy at just the right angle to where it then ricochets and hits another enemy, stuff like that. I feel like it could be pretty cool seeing them work together. Um, oh, but I guess that's my whole hope section for that book. My recommendations. So I imagine that this book would be cool for people who are fans of Wonder Woman, people who are fans of Gorilla Grodd, fingers crossed. I'm hoping. People who are fans of like aliens and alien invasion stories, and of course, people who are fans of Gorilla City. Next up, we're going to be talking about Aquaman Deep Dives Issue 3. It's going to be coming out May 7th, 2020. So that's going to be this coming Thursday. And here's a description. Aquaman and Tempest race to stop an enraged monster that has escaped its magical tomb under the city of New York. So, this was like a fairly short like description, but I do think it sounds interesting. Um, I want to see Tempest become a regular guest in this Aquaman series. I've always thought that Tempest was cool, but I haven't read a lot of Tempest stories. What I really want to see is Tempest and Aquaman performing like a series of epic combo attacks to force the enraged monster back into his tomb. I would highly recommend this to fans of Aquaman, Tempest, Magic, and giant monster battles. Aquaman really does seem like it's the home of giant monster battles right now. At least for the last two, like, issues or whatever. It's been really focused on that. Ryan said, oh, yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Right now, I'm just going through next week's brand new DC Digital Comics, talking about when they're going to come out, sharing their descriptions, and sharing my hopes for them, as well as recommendations. Like, based on the descriptions, who do I think will like each comic? Ryan said, I see the robot has completely perfected your appearance. If only. That'd be pretty interesting. Boom, boom. Nostalgia K Gaming said, hello everyone. Yo, Nostalgia K Gaming, welcome to the stream, it's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? It's good to see you. Like I was just telling Ryan, I'm just talking about next week's brand new DC Digital Comics. Well, specifically DC Digital First is like an initiative that DC's doing, but it seems pretty cool. Ryan said, Craig of the Creek. You want to talk about Craig of the Creek? What about Craig of the Creek would you like to discuss? Um, the next book that we're going to be talking about is Flash Fastest Man Alive, Issue 3. This book is going to be coming out May 8th, 2020, so that's going to be coming out this coming Friday. And here's the description of the book. Temporal travesties are wreaking havoc on the streets of Central City, and the Flash needs an extra pair of hands to keep the city safe. He just didn't realize how tiny those hands would be. So here are my hopes for this book. I've always been curious about the Atom. I am excited to see the Atom work together with the Flash to take on all sorts of time-displaced threats. Because we don't have a lot to go off of based off of that description, but I feel like we're going to be seeing like terrible people and like monsters from throughout time suddenly all appearing in Central City, and the Flash and the Atom teaming up in order to fight off against these creatures. That's my guess. I don't really know, but I think that's what's going to happen. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But I want to see creative combos of the Atom's abilities and the Flash's abilities on display. I want to see a variety of threats from different time periods, and I want to see them have to take on different superpowered strategies to take down each respective threat. I would definitely recommend this book to Flash fans, fans of the Atom, and fans of time travel stories. I think this book's going to be fun. Flash Fastest Man Alive has kind of been the best comic of these DC Digital First comics. So I always have high hopes for what's going to come out of it next. Let's see. So Ryan said that Craig of the Creek had a One Piece reference. Interesting. I mean, One Piece is like one of the most popular manga series, and I believe is the longest running one by like one author. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. And then Ryan said Atom has the smallest dick. I'm curious if there are any characters in DC who are canonically like smaller than the Atom, like that are canonically smaller than the Atom can become, because that doesn't sound too crazy. There are plenty of characters in fiction who are built around one power, but then they have an enemy who's like, but I can do it better than you. Haha. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a character in DC who could become smaller than the Atom, and that was like their whole gimmick. Nostalgia K Gaming said One Piece is so good, but there's so many chapters. So I've been getting into One Piece, and I'd say that the chapter number doesn't seem that intimidating. Like the farther I get into it, the less I feel like it's going to be difficult to catch up, because I got to chapter 122 in the manga, and then I've been going back and forth between the manga and the anime, because sometimes I'm in a position to where I can read the manga and I can like binge it. And then there are other times where I'm like I have to do something, so I can't read. So then I find whatever the anime episode is that like directly correlates to the manga chapter that I'm on, and then I start playing that anime episode in the background while I do something else. So I've started doing that, and it doesn't seem that hard to like get through. You know what I mean? I was surprised that I'm already like 100 something things in, because before I was watching the anime, and then I was like, well, where am I in the manga if I was reading the manga? And then it was like, you're on chapter like 90 something. And I was like, oh snap. I was like, I didn't know I was like this deep in. Because there's almost 1,000 chapters of One Piece, but I've barely started watching it, and I'm already like a tenth of the way through. So I don't think it'll be that bad. I feel like I'll be able to catch up like pretty soon. I just need to keep at it. If I just consume One Piece 10 times more than I already am, I'll just be caught up. But let's see. Ryan said, yeah, but reading manga doesn't take very long. It really doesn't. The Nostalgia Gaming said at Ryan, very true. Nostalgia Gaming said at Nick Benson, is there a certain site or app that you use for manga? So I use Kiss Manga. That's for reading manga illegally. But I imagine that if you guys wanted to find it legally, you definitely could. Um, I've been asked by Beth if I were to start making like One Piece videos, but I don't think I will. And the only reason why I don't think I'll be doing One Piece videos is because I feel like I already have too much on my plate with like the comic book reviews. So I just feel like if I tried to add One Piece in with that, um, it would just be a lot of like additional like production time that I just don't really have time for. Unless I just kind of threw something together, like if I just talked off the dome about it. Let's see. Nostalgic Gaming said, shameless plug. You should check out my Takiyomi video. It's a great app for manga. Interesting. Um, for your Takiyomi video, I guess I have a question. Why did you make a video about like a manga app? Was it to like raise awareness about it? Is it like a sponsored video? Like, did you get like, do you have like an affiliate link or something? I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. It sounds interesting. The idea that you would make like a promotional video for a manga app. Ryan said his dick is too big for One Piece more. For One Piece more? Or for One Piece lore? He might have wanted to say lore. No, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to ask. Ryan, were you trying to say more or lore? But I mean, I could potentially do a One Piece video. If you guys want me to do One Piece videos, I guess just let me know. Just say something like in the comment section, and I can maybe try to throw up like a One Piece something. Because I guess the solution to, oh, it would take too long for me to make a One Piece video would be for me to just not plan one out. Just do it kind of off the top and then just talk from memory. It wouldn't be the best, but I could definitely do it and it wouldn't take that long. Nostalgic Gaming said, nah, I just made it because I thought people should know about it. It's a pretty great app for people that love manga. And then he said there are just so many sources in one place. Well, that's good. I mean, it's great to make videos for informative purposes. Let's see. Ryan said lore is a villain in Star Trek. Like the name of a villain, or like literally the lore of the series is an antagonist of the series? Because that sounds interesting. I'm not entirely sure how that would work. Maybe like a cursed mythology. I feel like I've seen stuff like that before. Like a never ending story kind of thing, where the lore of the story has some existence inside of the story. But I'm not sure if I've seen it where it's been like an antagonistic force, where the lore of the story is. Have I? I feel like I have. I've seen stories about characters who are like, I'm directly writing into reality itself. I mean, I guess even a never ending story, the never ending story thing is. It's hard to say it's the antagonist. There's normally someone else who's editing it and making it like bad. But that is an interesting concept. I have seen that before. Let's see. Nostalgia Cade said at Ryan, Data's brother? Question mark. Data's brother? So for one, Data has a brother, and two, his name is Lore. Why is his name Lore? Data and Lore. Interesting naming convention. What would you consider an android's brother? Then Ryan said yes. Mm. Oh, but anyways, let me continue through next week's brand new DC Digital First comics. So, coming out on May 9th, 2020 is DC Superhero Girls Infinite Frenemies issue 3. And here's the description for that book. Jessica hopes her dog adoption fair will help some adorable pups find loving homes, but Catwoman plans to help herself. And when someone special catches Star Sapphire's eye, will her jealous rampage ruin the day or be the key to saving it? Here are my hopes for this book. So I hope that the target audience of this book really enjoys it. It'd be nice if this book was at least B rank, because DC Superhero Girls, at least for me, has been consistently C rank, where it's like it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not like D rank or F rank, but it's not particularly good. It's not like B rank or above. So I'd like something that I guess didn't feel middle of the road, but I know why it feels middle of the road, because it doesn't necessarily appeal to me. You know what I mean? I'm not the target audience. But I would recommend this to fans of DC's Superhero Girls. Jessica Cruz fans, people who are fans of puppies and like cute stuff, people who like stories for younger audiences, fans of Catwoman, and fans for the Star Sapphires. Let's see, Nostalgia Cade Gaming said at Ryan, I love TNG, The Next Generation, but I haven't watched Picard yet. Have you seen it? Has Ryan seen Picard yet? I don't personally watch Star Trek. I watched the newer movies, but the most Star Trek I've ever really watched has been like bits and pieces of The Next Generation on Sci Fi Channel. It seemed alright. Let's see. Ryan said DC Superhero Girls is better as a show. And then he said the other month I finished watching all of The Next Generation. And then he said he watched the first episode of Picard. What'd you think of the first episode of Picard? And also, we're finally on the last issue that will be coming out next week. Well, it's weird to say the last issue. It makes it sound like it's like the last one of the series. Here's the last comic that's going to be coming out next week. It's going to come out next Sunday, so a week from now, on May 10th, 2020. And the title is Swamp Thing New Roots Issue 3. And let me hit you up with that description. Word has gotten out about the existence of Swamp Thing, and now tourists are swarming the swamp looking for a glimpse of the Bigfoot of the bayou. The sudden popularity only accelerates Sunderland Corporation's plans to destroy him, but Swamp Thing finds help from an unexpected quarter, whether he wants it or not. So I don't really know what to make of this description, but I'm hyped that Sunderland Corporation is getting involved. My hopes for this book, I hope this issue is more like issue 1, featuring Swamp Thing strategically overcoming increasingly deadly enemies. Because issue 1 of Swamp Thing New Roots was really solid. I said it was S rank last week. But issue 2 of Swamp Thing New Roots, which came out this week, was actually F rank. It was like the worst book of the week. So that's a big shift. I hope it can be like S plus this coming time around. Because the comic that came out this week, issue 2, it has a really good setup for like the next issue. But then this description, I feel like, is connected to that setup, but I could see them potentially messing it up depending on how they directed the story. So fingers crossed that this is like a good book. I would recommend this book to fans of Swamp Thing, fans of cryptid stories, because it sounds like it's going to go in the direction of like Bigfoot hunters and stuff like that. And people who are fans of team-up books, because it seems like they're hinting at him finding help from an unexpected quarter. I don't know what that means, like in this particular circumstance. Are you talking about quarters like the coins? Quarters as in like an area of like a city or something? I don't get it. Nostalgia Gaming said, The Next Generation was good, Deep Space Nine was good, Voyager was great, and TOS, the original series, I imagine is what that means, while a classic is probably at the bottom of my list. Understandable. Ryan said Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek series, and then he said, what about ENT? ENT. I'm trying to see if I know what ENT means, but I think I don't actually. What does ENT stand for? Nostalgia Gaming said at Ryan, I haven't seen much of ENT, sadly. Yeah, I still don't know what ENT means. But I have finished going through all of next week's brand new DC Digital First comics. I am interested in doing another video tonight. I want to do a discussion video about a couple of weird topics. But I'm curious if anyone actually cares to tune in. It would be more of a straight up me talking to you guys thing. So if you guys are interested, tune in. If not, then I understand. Let's see. So Nostalgia Gaming said Enterprise. Oh, okay. And then Ryan said Enterprise. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, by the way. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 ring the notification bell to be notified whenever we do these videos. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Blythe One Only, logging out. Peace, guys. Chick the guy.